on. Tryna lock these predictions down, right? Call me John. I'ma talk to Jared, cause he might keep me calm. Had my top pick for this week, but he bombed. Caleb said he had a weak week, but he's strong. Jonathan said he repeat, now it's on. In love with the game, who you got, can I wait? Drop by the dorm, come and watch, it's the babe.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Dorm Debate Podcast. We've been away for quite some time. I feel like we went to New Orleans. We had our one podcast, and then we posted Jeopardy last week. I feel like we've been gone forever, to be honest. But we're back. Only the three of us. Caleb, unfortunately, is sick. Apparently, everybody's sick recently with this weather, and we're here in the East Coast, and it's absolutely freezing now. I'm trying to hold out and not put my heater on, so I got like 6 blankets on my bed, but it's just that type of season. So we got Jonathan, myself, and John. No, the heater's fine. I just don't want to pay for it. I just don't want to pay for the heat, to be honest. But yeah, let's get into Week 14, because you know who didn't need heating was Josh Allen, because he was red hot today. He was in SoFi Stadium scoring left and right, and actually was the first player ever to have 3 rushing touchdowns and 3 passing touchdowns. Never happened in NFL history.
Really?
And he still lost.
And
still lost.
Are you? Is that that's never happened?
Never.
No.
Lamar
Wow.
Jackson, Michael Vick. How many running quarterbacks have we seen? And he's the first to have 3 and 3.
Wow, interesting.
Very weird. But this brings me to the topic I want to start off with right now. We're into Week 14. We're close to the end of the season. And with the end of the season comes awarding the MVP. So last year, it was Lamar Jackson. I think the year before that was also Lamar, right? He won back-to-back.
Yeah.
So this year, we do have Josh Allen as a quarterback. He is minus 400 to win the MVP. But it's a 2-man race, in my opinion, because right on his tail is a running back, Saquon Barkley from the Eagles. Now, last year, it was Lamar and CMC, and maybe you could throw Tyreek Hill in there because he was having a great season. But Saquon Barkley right now is plus 450, so he is a ways from Josh Allen, and especially after this recent game from Allen, he's going to be quite a ways. But if you look at Saquon Barkley's stats compared to last year's CMC, he actually has more rushing yards, a little bit less receiving, and significantly less touchdowns. He has 7 less touchdowns than CMC last year, but there's still 4 games left. So can he make up some ground? Maybe. But I want to throw it to you guys. And at this point in time, I know it's recency bias with Josh Allen scoring 6 touchdowns, but do you think Barkley has a chance to win the MVP as a running back?
It's crazy, but unfortunately, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's crazy, but unfortunately, no, he does not. The NFL, they historically favor quarterbacks. Like, we all know CMC really should have won last year over Lamar, but they still gave it to Lamar Jackson. So if they didn't give it to CMC last year and he was crazy good last year, had a crazy good season, then Barkley hasn't done that well enough for them to warrant not giving it to a quarterback. So Josh Allen right now, as far as I'm concerned, he's going to win the MVP. Unless something crazy happens, he's going to win the MVP.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. Josh Allen's going to win the MVP. Now he ties with Lamar Jackson for the most touchdowns, most total touchdowns in the league. He has 23 passing and 9 rushing for 32 total, and there's still 4 games left. And if you look at the schedule, Barkley and Allen, their schedule difficulty goes in opposite ways, actually. Barkley has a tough schedule. He plays the Steelers. That's not going to be easy to rush against them. Allen, meanwhile, gets to play the Patriots twice still, who are terrible, and he scored 27 against last year and 25 in the 2 games, and he plays the Jets at home, and the Jets just got eliminated from the playoffs, so they're going to start just, giving up.
Yeah.
It's going to be the Josh Allen show. The big game, I think, if Josh Allen wins the game next week, which I think they could, they're playing the Detroit Lions in Detroit. If he wins that game,
Oh, he's done.
I mean, we already know they're probably going to beat the Patriots twice and the Jets. So if they win out, go 4-0 in the last 4 games,
He's getting
and
it.
it's going to be him, 100%.
Yeah, I'm excited to see next week. That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, that'll be a great game.
What do you think about Barkley? He already broke LaShawn McCoy's and the Eagles' single-season rushing record. He broke it today, so he's got 4 more games to pad that. Do you think there's any, like, if there is a possibility of Barkley doing it, what would he have to do? Does he need more touchdowns? Does he need 2,000 rushing yards?
Here's what he would have to do. For him to have a chance, he is currently on pace to break the single-season rushing record of Eric Dickerson way back, which is 2,062 or something
In less
like
games, but
Dickerson
did in less
yeah,
games.
Dickerson did it in 16. Barkley would have 17 this season. Well, 18 weeks, but you have the bye. So
Right.
Barkley would have to at least do that. So he would at least have to set the record for most rushing yards in a single season. And honestly, I'd say he'd have to get to what McCaffrey touchdowns were last season. So if McCaffrey had 7 more, I think Saquon would have to have 7 in the last 4 games.
So actually, yeah, I misdid this. So Barkley has 13, CMC had 21. So he's 8 off
8.
of CMC.
If he gets
He would average two a game. He would get 21 touchdowns from CMC and then however much rushing yards. So let's say he breaks Dickerson's record and gets 21 touchdowns. Do they leapfrog a quarterback?
If he does,
most likely
I
not.
think, honestly,
Did
I might give it to him.
Tyreek
Yeah, also-
break the record last year for receiving yards in
he
the
didn't.
season?
no.
I don't think so. And also, you have to look at it from a business perspective. All these guys, at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. Okay. Josh Allen is a good marketing tool for the league. If they give him MVP, that's only going to pad their marketing of him. He produces the league a lot of money
And
through jerseys, through like games being watched. They know Bills have a good shot of going far in the playoffs.
And Allen's going to play longer than Barkley. Allen's going to play 10 more years in the league. Barkley,
Yeah, exactly.
he might not even play 5.
Exactly.
So you're right. Like giving him an MVP, they could talk about that in later years. Like 8 years down the road, they could be like, oh, Josh Allen, 3-time MVP going up
Exactly.
against, this player. Like this is a great matchup. But Saquon, they can't only talk about for the next 4 years.
Exactly. That's right. So yeah, you have to think about that. So Barkley has to do something really convincing, really, that it's undoubtedly.
Yeah, he would have to get 2,100 rushing yards and 21 touchdowns to be in the conversation.
Yeah.
Do you know who the last non-quarterback MVP was in the NFL?
I'm gonna guess
No.
LaDainian Tomlinson.
Said LT.
It was a running back. It was not LT.
Okay. Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
2012 Adrian Peterson. You know what his stats were? 2,097 rushing yards, 13 touchdowns.
That's it. Oh my
That's
gosh, Barkley already has 13.
I mean,
And-
maybe the defenses were more tough back then, so maybe that played a key
Yeah,
role, but-
true. Well, I think for me, I think Jonathan's right. I think, John, you're right. It would take a miracle for Barkley to leapfrog Allen. But the way Allen's playing, it's not like it's like they're just handing it to any random quarterback and just saying, like, here, take it. Josh Allen, 6 touchdowns today. And who knows? They're going to need him against the Lions. The Lions don't have the greatest defense. He might get another 4 or 5 next week.
Oh yeah,
And now
And
he's just padding the stats.
He's just padding it. Yeah. Yeah. The Rams. I mean, they are like 6 and 7. What are they? They're
7 and 6 now.
7 and 6. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's the Rams. Their
Their
offense is
defense
usually pretty
sucks.
good,
Yeah,
but their defense sucks. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So
I want to talk about the Rams and go into this playoff race. It's a weird one. I think from what John and I have seen, I'd like to get your opinion, Jonathan. It looks like the AFC is pretty much set. Not technically.
Steelers and Bills.
What?
They're battling for number 2.
Oh
No.
okay.
Okay, sorry. That was my fault. That was my bad wording. The seeding is not set, but as far as the teams, do you think any team outside the bubble now would make it into the final 7?
I don't think so, because if you're looking at the wild card right now, 7th place is Broncos at 8-5. 8th place right behind them is Colts at 6-7, and they play next week in Week 15, and it's in Denver. And Denver and Indianapolis have a bye this week to prepare for it. So honestly, that's a playoff game for the Colts. They've got to win it. But I don't think they will. The Broncos have actually been playing really well. So what other team can get in? Dolphins?
Yeah, I mean, in technicality, Dolphins, Colts are battling to beat the Broncos unless the Ravens collapse and they start losing too.
So the only thing I will say is that if you look at the Broncos' schedule, it is actually kind of tough. So they do play the Colts at home, right? So let's say they take care of business, they go 9-5. Let's say the Dolphins beat the Texans next week, just to see what happens. So then they would go 7-7. They beat the Texans. Now you have 3 games left. Broncos go to LA to play the Chargers. They could lose that. They go to Cincinnati to play the Bengals. They could lose that. Then they play at home against the Chiefs. They could lose that. So, for example, if they win, go 9-5, and then lose the next 3 to go 9-8, that means the Dolphins could win out and make the playoffs. And they get Texans, home against the 49ers, at Browns, at Jets. That at Browns, at Jets, they could win. They have home against 49ers, at Texans. It's going to be tough. I still think it is set.
I know.
So
It's like you lose if the Dolphins lose one of those. It's,
Right. Yeah.
So the Broncos, we think the Broncos are going to get that 7th slot.
I do think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so as well.
So then,
yeah.
if you think that's all set, we'll go to the NFC because that one's a little more interesting, and not only looking at the bubble. So right now, the wild card teams, it goes Vikings, Packers, Commanders. Now the Vikings, we all know, are 11-2, and they're behind the Lions at 10-1, or
12-1.
12-1. Then the Packers 9-4, Commanders 8-5. Then you go to the Rams outside the bubble, outside the bubble. Rams are 7-6, Falcons 6-7, Cardinals 6-7, 49ers 6-7, Cowboys 5-7. So I'm going to cut off near the 49ers, to be honest, and look at this NFC West. Number 1 in the NFC West is the Seahawks at 8-5. Then you have the Rams at 7-6, and the Cardinals and 49ers at 6-7. So all those teams can win the division and get a home playoff game still. They all have stuff to play for. So even though they're outside the wild card, these teams can still win. Not only that, the NFC South is the same way. You have the Buccaneers at 7-6, and they're first in the NFC South, and then you have the Falcons at 6-7, and they're right behind them. So those bubble teams, not only do you have to look at the wild card and how the Commanders play, because the Commanders are the last wild card, but then you have an option to get a home playoff game in their own division. They could have a worse record than the Commanders and have a home playoff game. I mean, the NFC South, we're pretty used to that. But for the NFC West, it is shocking. It is shocking how weird this is played out. I mean, I know Geno is a veteran guy, and I guess he's has a commanding lead at 8-5 in this NFC West.
Yeah.
But man, I did not expect the Cardinals today to lose to the Seahawks at home. I really thought Kyler would show up. But this Cardinals team, I love them so much, but they are so high floor, low floor, high ceiling. It's like you don't know who's going to show up. But out of the NFC West and the NFC South, like that bunch of teams, how do you see that playing out? Do you have a favorite and all that? And Jonathan, talk about the 49ers. You were dead on with them. They're outside looking in right now.
Yeah, I mean, you guys thought they were Super Bowl contenders, but I knew they were a fraud the first few weeks. First couple weeks of the season, I knew they were a fraud. And it's shown out to be that way.
And McCaffrey came back early, injured himself again.
Exactly. See what I'm saying? And so I
See what I'm saying? Like you predicted it.
No, I
knew it.
I mean, you did. You said
He did
McCaffrey's
call it.
never coming back.
No, I
No,
said
he's like he
even
said
if he
if he does, they're gonna rush him, and it looks like they did.
Yeah, yeah.
They put pressure on you to play. Like, when are you gonna be ready? Like, it's like their life depends on you playing, and it makes you feel bad if you don't play. And so, yeah, I don't blame him for rushing back. And then, that's what Kevin Durant did. Not to go to basketball. That's what he did, and he hurt his Achilles with the Warriors. They thought he was faking his injury. I don't know, but so he's trying to show his team that I'm actually hurt, and he hurt his Achilles. Anyways, so NFC West, yeah, I agree. Geno Smith is an experienced quarterback. He's a veteran. They're not losing that lead. They're going to win the division. He's going to do what it takes to make sure he handles the games well, not make stupid mistakes, fumble balls, make careless mistakes. They're going to do what it takes to win. And I think Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's starting to show how great he is. As a rookie last year, we didn't see that too much, but this year, like, he's reliable. He's Mr. Reliable. On third down or in a crucial play, find him, he's probably going to catch it. Okay. I'll never forget that beautiful catch he caught in the Rose Bowl at Ohio State. That I don't know if you guys saw that highlight of behind the I guess that shoulder pass,
Back
like
shoulder.
Over the shoulder.
Yeah, back shoulder. Yeah, that's like the perfect catch. I've never seen something like that. Because you do drills like that in football and stuff, and the way he caught that was amazing. Anyways, this guy's Mr. Reliable, and so the Seahawks, they're winning this division. I don't think they're gonna struggle with the rest of the games this season. I think Geno is the guy to do that. The Rams make things interesting.
What I will say before you continue, so you're saying Seahawks won it, but
Yeah.
the Rams are 7-6, 49ers 6-7. They both play each other this week. This is it. This is a playoff game. Loser is out. It's a Thursday night football game.
Rams
This
and
week.
49ers.
It's in San Francisco. These teams played earlier in the season, again, in LA. And remember, that was the Juwan Jennings game. 11 catches, 200 yards, 3 touchdowns. But, banged up. CMC out, Mason out, Garendo going for MRIs on Monday. So that's a huge game. So whoever loses that is out. But whoever wins that, let's just say, for example, the Rams win. They're 8-6. Could they get into that last spot? Now, what I'll say about the Commanders who are in that 7th spot, they have an easy schedule. They play the Saints. They're probably going to win that. Derek Carr's not going to play. Then they play the Eagles. They'll probably lose that. But then they got Falcons and Cowboys. Falcons have lost 4 straight. So if they go 3-1, that means the Rams would have to win out. And that's going to be tough because they still got to play the Cardinals and Seahawks. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think with that offense with Nakua and Cooper Kupp, as long as they're staying healthy throughout the rest of the season, they have a good shot of making that wild card. And so yeah, I think they're gonna I think they're gonna beat the 49ers this week. Okay, they're gonna beat the 49ers this week. 49ers are gonna officially, in our minds, pretty much get eliminated from the playoffs after this week. So yeah, the Rams could give the Seahawks a run for their money because I think they meet one more time this season. And so yeah, that will be. It'll be a battle between them, but I think both of them will end up getting in the playoffs. So yeah, the Cardinals are a huge disappointment. I agree with Jared. Like Kyler Murray, like he's supposed to be a legend. Like they have the new coach. They've been auto adjustments. They got Marvin Harrison. Like what's going on?
He just has what I hate is like the nonchalant interceptions that he has, where like he wants to throw it away in his mind, but then he doesn't throw it away. He like
trying to make a play.
His like muscle memory like keeps it in bounds, and he has like these throws where he throws it and looks away, and then it's like lobbed up in the air and it's intercepted, and so like he keeps having just boneheaded interceptions.
Yeah,
and then on top of the fact that Marvin Harrison, where is he? Like
where is he?
You got to be using him like Justin Jefferson rookie year, like that type of
what are they
usage.
doing?
And that I believe this guy's the coach is from the Eagles. He was the offensive coordinator, Gannon or whatever. Like he should have like so many plays for Marvin Harrison. Like this is like
Find
gold.
ways to get him-
Kyler
yeah.
Murray, Marvin
Yeah.
Harrison. How do you
Yeah.
not McBride? Like this team has good weapons, and they just can't. They can't play, dude. I don't know what's going on, and I like them so much. I really want them to win because I like watching Kyler Murray more than I like watching friggin' Geno Smith.
Yeah. I mean,
And then, Stafford and the Rams are probably the biggest threat to the Seahawks because the Seahawks' next 2 games are really tough, but they are at home in Seattle. But I really, man, it's just hard for me to like think the Seahawks can outplay Matthew Stafford and beat out Cooper Kupp, Puka Nakua.
I think if it comes down to it, look, week 18, it's the Seahawks versus Rams. If that division came down to that last game,
It might.
I think I would give the edge to the Rams just because of that experience.
Yep. I agree. But then see, I also thought
you gotta play defense.
Arizona versus Seattle, I would give the edge to Arizona because Kyler Murray's better quarterback than Geno. But I guess Geno just makes less mistakes.
I mean, the
Yeah.
Seahawks, they have the best defense right now in the league. Or not in the league, in the division. Sorry.
Right.
And so you got to play defense. Yes, Rams have a superstar caliber offense. They can score as much as they want, but their defense isn't great. Okay. And so it's gonna be close, but I think the Seahawks will pull it off.
So you think Seahawks pull it out. John, you
Yeah.
think what?
I think the Seahawks will hold on.
Okay.
But what I will say about NFC South, if we were just going to touch on that for a second,
Yep.
Bucks are 7-6, Falcons 6-7. They're pretty close behind them. Panthers and Saints are out. Now, Falcons lost 4 straight, but listen to their next 4. They got Raiders, Giants, Commanders, Panthers. The only tough game is at Commanders. So let's just say they lose that. They can go 3-1 to go 9-8. That means that the Bucks would have to at least win 2 games. They play at the Chargers. That's not easy. At the Cowboys, they'll probably win that. Then Panthers and Saints, which they'll probably do.
Wait, yeah.
Look, the Bucks, when it comes down to it, they're the only team in the NFL to beat the Lions so far, and they're one of 2 teams to beat the Eagles. So the Buccaneers, when they're fully healthy, when they have people, which they don't, obviously, Godwin's out, Bucky Irving already banged up, but I think when it comes down to it, I think the Bucks will hold on to that division.
Really?
I do think the Bucks will win.
Are you kidding me?
Jared, do you think Falcons will find a way?
Yeah, I
losing
do.
4 straight. Losing 4 straight is a big deal.
No, I know.
The only thing I will say is if they have the same record at the end of the season, Falcons have the tiebreaker because the Falcons beat them twice. So the Bucks
could be the
really,
case.
for the Bucks to solidify, they would have to win 3 of the next 4, which are Chargers, Cowboys, Panthers, Saints. Panthers have been playing tough. Saints, you never know. Chargers at Cowboys, you could lose 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I still, I think the Bucks will hold on. I do.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins right now is playing extremely bad. Extremely. He passed for a ton of yards today, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a revenge game back in Minnesota. You'd think he would be so motivated to win that game, and they fell flat. He played one good game so far this year, and that was the Tampa Bay. It was
Yeah.
Tampa Bay that went to
500
overtime.
yards.
Yeah, and at that point, so the Falcons start the season, and Kirk Cousins had the same stats as Desmond Ridder, the quarterback that was there prior. Then he has that breakout game, and everyone's like, "All right, Kirk's back." Ever since that point, he has not impressed anybody. He's been very bad. He honestly, I hate to say it, but I kind of see like a Jameis Winston with Kirk Cousins now. Like I see Jameis when I look at Kirk Cousins because he just throws
Really?
interceptions, but he has a lot of yards and he might match the touchdowns with interceptions, and he doesn't really have any rushing ability. It just seems like there is no spark with him. I don't know. I just don't really see a lot with him, but this is when the switch flips. This is when Kirk Cousins steps up. You got to make the playoffs.
Yep.
You got to make a name for yourself if he's going to get any sort of respect as a Hall of Famer. You got to start playing well now. You got to make the playoffs. He made them 2 years ago or 3 years ago, lost to the Giants first round. That's got to stick in his head. He's got to make the playoffs. He's got to win a playoff game. But as John, you said, playoff games start now. You got to start and acting like playoffs
this
start
is playoffs.
tomorrow.
Yep.
This is playoffs.
So
And,
they
yeah,
need to do that, and he's got all the weapons to do it. He really does. It's just a matter of things clicking together, and I don't think he's there yet, but it's gonna have to get there at some point. I don't think Baker with only Mike Evans can really do it.
And I'm glad you guys agree with me now. Again, in this another division, I said the Bucks were going to win in the beginning of the season. You guys said Falcons for some reason.
You
it's a
said
combo.
Saints.
No, I said
Oh,
Bucks.
you
I said
did.
Bucks.
Saints.
Well,
You did.
are you serious? I said Baker Mayfield and Bucks.
Nope.
I think I said Bucks.
You said Saints because remember the Saints went 2-0, and then I was like, oh, Jonathan, you were right. You were right with the Saints because you were like, oh, Derek Carr and Derek
You
Carr
said
is a
Derek Carr another year in this system. He's a clutch quarterback. And after 2 games, I told you guys
Oh,
they
man.
suck.
I have the New Orleans Saints as the number 1 team to win the NFC.
Wow.
South.
You guys got me. Okay.
You
We
tried to
record all
lie to
these.
our faces. Hey guys, I picked the Bucks. You guys picked the Falcons for some reason. I don't know why,
yeah,
but
I don't know. I think Caleb might have picked Bucks. I know John and I picked Falcons.
I definitely did. Yeah.
So, but do you really think the Bucks with McMillan, without Godwin, without Bucky Irving, like
Yeah, I do.
really?
Yeah.
I just don't see
They
that
can-
on
they're gonna squeak
paper.
by, yeah.
On paper,
Dude, they're-
Falcons win 10 out of 10 times.
No, they're legit.
paper.
Dude.
I don't know. So if we look at the NFC West, you guys think Seahawks hold on?
Yep.
I really want to hold on to my Cardinals, so I'm going to hold on to that Cardinals pick. I think they have an easier schedule, and I think the Seahawks could drop the next 2 games against the Packers and against whoever else they play. I got to see here. They play the Packers and the Vikings. So I think they drop those 2 games, and maybe the Cardinals can get a shot.
Dude, you think Cardinals got to play in LA against the Rams? They're going to get blown out. And then they got to play the 49ers in the last game. They're going to
Like
lose
I said,
that.
they're not going to lose to the 49ers for sure, but the Rams one I am concerned about. The Rams one I am concerned about because Cooper Kupp, Puka Nacua look freaking deadly. I just what was the stat, John, we saw that Puka Nacua and Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp, they have the most completions between like a quarterback and receiver since week 8. So
Yeah.
since week 8, Matthew Stafford has like 42 receptions and passes with Nacua, and I think he had like 38 or 39 completions to Kupp. So they're back and fully going on.
I mean,
they're planning a huge run. It's kind of crazy.
I mean, it's funny when you look at the Rams, it's really not that tough to game plan against them, but it's tough to execute against them because look, if you're looking against in the box score of the Bills game that just happened, Nacua had 14 targets, 12 catches. Kupp had 8 targets, 5 catches. And Tutu Atwell had like 3, but then nobody else, no other wide receiver caught a pass. So like when they're running routes, it's literally just going to Kupp or Puka. And we already know that about the Rams because remember when they won the Super Bowl, everybody knew it was going to Kupp every play and nobody could stop it.
Yeah.
But it's just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
reliable.
the coaching. The coaching
it's the
too.
coaching.
Sean McVay's the best coach out of the whole.
Yeah,
out of the
they
whole
find
division.
ways to get your best players the ball. That's why Cardinals learn from this. Marvin Harris should put him in slot, put him somewhere so
Yeah.
you can make sure he gets the ball. Kevin O'Connell with the Vikings is also good at this. That's why Justin Jefferson's good, and goodness, Addison is also good. They find ways to get them the ball. See what I'm saying? They
Yeah.
find ways to get them the ball, and I guess the Cardinals haven't figured that out, or Kyler Murray needs to pay more attention and feed him the ball every passing play or something. Like he can make things happen
Yeah.
if you give him a chance.
That is the difference. When I look at the NFC West, if I had to like pinpoint what's going wrong, it's that Sean McVay is a Super Bowl winning coach,
Exactly.
and it shows. They
It
were
shows.
without Cup and Nakua for like 6 to 7 weeks.
Yeah.
They could have lost all those games, and they went 4-4 or something, and then they all come back, and now they're
They're rocking,
they're rocking and
They
rolling.
beat the Bills. I mean, that's not easy. The Bills are
No.
a solid team.
No, that's not easy.
So, so you think because right now it looks like the Cowboys are 4%.
Oh,
Cowboys are
thanks
done, dude. It's over.
for reminding me. Jay. Oh man,
No chance, right?
no chance. No chance. No chance.
So who do you want as a pick in the draft? Genty?
Jency would be ideal. We need another quarterback, but I don't know where it's coming from. Quinn Ewers, I don't know. I don't know if we'll be able to get him. I don't know if somebody's gonna stash him before us, but
What do you want him to sit for a couple years?
no, he should come and be ready to start. He should compete for the
Dak.
start.
You
out.
just paid Dak.
Dak's
Yeah.
out.
Dax
He
should be
sucks.
done, bro. He sucks, man. He sucks. He sucks. I've been waiting. He doesn't do anything. Let's get him
Wow.
out.
It's almost weird to not have Jonathan like you just talking about like how are you gonna make your bracket this year? This is gonna be like a complete
Yeah.
unbiased view.
You might,
finally.
you might actually be unbiased.
I usually am unbiased.
Oh, God. Can you just don't
Yeah, I'm
smile
usually-
when you say
No,
that?
I'm usually unbiased. I mean, we all know the Cowboys. We all expect the Cowboys usually to win every year. All of us. do.
What?
We all
I
expect it.
never did.
That's why that's why you guys give me crap all the time. Cowboys are legit Super Bowl contenders every year, and yeah, like we all were surprised when they lost to the Packers. That's why people were surprised, and that's why they made a big deal. Cowboys usually should win the Super Bowl every year, but this year they have completely no chance.
All right.
It's the first time it's the
Alright.
first time I can remember that's happened.
All right. That is all we have for episode. I don't even know anymore. We've missed so many weeks. It might be 12. It might be episode 12, but it's week 14 episode. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 5,000. We just hit 4,900. So we're really, really close. So please help us out over there. And we are on TikTok and on Instagram at Don't Rate Podcast. Hopefully TikTok doesn't get banned. But
Live show every Sunday. Come on, guys. Join it.
yeah, live show every Sunday, sometimes Thursday. But yeah, thank you guys so much again for watching and listening. As always, we'll see you guys next week.